What's going on, Duck Nation, College Football Nation? This is UODuckBros back for another video because
That's what we do.
We took a week off. We had a bye week, and that was kind of crappy, actually. There's nothing worse in this world than a bye week for Oregon football because there's nothing else to watch.
Well, and it's not like it was a stellar week for Pac-12 play anyway, and I have to say I had to work on Saturday, and it probably was the only time in my life where I feel like if I was going to work, it was going to be a time where there wasn't a lot of football on, and I wasn't that disappointed.
So there's that. So we got another game this Saturday, of which, by the way, we are sending our parents there because it is their 33rd anniversary, and they've been wanting to go to a game for a while, and so we decided to send them
on down.
So happy anniversary to you guys.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, they will end up seeing this, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will.
So with that aside, here we go. Oregon's playing Cal this weekend. And
Pac-12 play opener.
And I see this being an absolute dumpster fire. Not in the sense of Oregon losing, mind you, because it's going to be probably the furthest thing away from that as it could possibly be. And there are reasons for that, my friends. Why, you ask? Well, let's crunch some numbers. First of all, Vegas has this game opening up at Oregon being a 35-plus point favorite. And I would say so far they've done a pretty good job at being right with that stuff in concerns to Oregon. So we've covered the spread on every one of those games so far without much resistance whatsoever.
I don't really see that changing very much. So, I think this is obviously going to be a game where, Cal's got a really, really good passing offense. That's
number 2 in the country.
Not to be disputed. So they're not going to, they're going to score points. I still don't think they're going to get over 20, but we'll get to that later. I just think when you compare the two teams across the board, you've got Cal, it's a young team, you got a new coach, you've got a young quarterback, and you've got a new system that is being implemented there, and just a new culture. And I just think that because of those things and just the fact that Oregon's just on a different level right now than everybody else, I just think it's going to be a game where it gets out of hand pretty quick. I think probably by halftime it's going to be at least 20 points, at least.
And there are reasons why we say that. We're not just saying...
We're not just trolling.
Here's the reason why. Here's more numbers, because the numbers never lie, except for when they do,
right.
But that's never, so they don't.
Right.
So here's what it comes down to. We already said Cal's offense, as far as passing goes, is outlandishly good. What's his name? Jared Goff. That guy, as Reese Davis says, he can spin the bean.
Spin it.
And he's very good at that because he's putting up like 430 yards a game in that category. So
against some really good teams.
Yeah, he put up some numbers against Ohio State and against Northwestern. So for being the only team in the Pac-12 that's 1-2, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Not completely, at least.
I don't think, because it's not really indicative of the teams that you've played. I think you guys have been competitive in every game that you've played, with the exception of the Portland State game, I thought.
But the rushing offense is just putrid.
It's not very good.
We're talking like in the 90th area of ranking, and that's not going to cut it. I think it's like 130 yards a game. You're going to need a lot more balance than that in order to compete with a team like Oregon. You're not going to be able to outpass them all day because, like we've said before, Oregon has one of the best secondaries in the nation. And this is going to be probably the first actual test for them all year.
Yeah.
But I think that they're kind of up for that.
Yeah, it'll be good because you'll kind of get to see where they're at as far as, they haven't been tested yet, so they haven't been thrown to a lot. It's going to be good to see those guys get some chances to make some plays and get some balls thrown their way and just kind of, see what they can do. It'll be a good test, and I think Cal is definitely a formidable opponent that way. I think the rest of the game, as far as everywhere else is concerned, passing defense is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, so this is the big blip on the radar. California, as far as points allowed in the defense goes, there are 124 teams in Division I football. They rank 121st in points allowed, with it being 42, I think. I think it was 42 points a game. And I know that you played against some good teams. Right. Ohio State obviously is a great team, and Northwestern is a solid team, but you gave up 30 points to Portland State, and that's just
That's inexcusable.
That shows that there's definitely some problems there. It's not just the fact that you played against some really good teams, but there's definitely some legitimate Swiss cheese-based problems in your secondary, and that is not a good sign.
No, it's just, there's just too much for you guys to overcome. I think it's just we're just too good, and I think Oregon is going to be on point. I think Mariota is going to have a big game. I think DeAnthony's going to have a big game, and I think our defense is going to make quite a few plays, and I just think they're going to limit the big plays that Cal's been so far getting against a lot of teams that they've played so far. And not to say that they're probably going to get a couple big plays. I don't think that we're going to completely shut them down. I think they're going to get some big yardage here and there, but I think for the most part we'll be able to contain that. And I fully expect this game to be
out of hand by halftime.
Yeah, I mean it'll be out of hand
as it is in most games that we play.
Yeah,
essentially.
So I think really at this point, I think really what we need to do is just get some score predictions. I think is.
Yep. So, as tradition goes, you go first.
Well, I see this game being in the 50s for Oregon. I think it's going to be 51-17. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
So for me, what I'm going to say is I think that Oregon's going to get to 56 points. I think they'll get to the upper 50s. But I think that in the fourth quarter somewhere they'll finally break the 20-point plane and they'll get to 24. So with that prediction, I think that it's going to be the first game of the season that they don't cover the spread, but it'll be pretty close just because Cal's pass offense is that good. But I still think that also Oregon will get at least 2 interceptions in this game. I think that just with the volume that they pass, it's going to happen because Oregon's secondary is that good. I mean, you haven't really seen a whole lot out of it this season just because the 3 teams we played really haven't thrown the ball at all.
No.
Really.
And I'm actually kind of excited to see where our guys are. So it'll be a fun game. I think it's going to be.
It's nice to actually have a test for once.
Yeah, and it's it's our first conference game, so it's exciting. It's about that time to hit that stride and get going for conference play and start
getting ready for
a lot of that meat in the middle of the schedule with Washington coming up and
Stanford
down the road and all that stuff. So it'll be a really good first test, and I just can't wait for Saturday to get here. So
this is where football starts happening.
Football.
Yeah, Pac-12 football.
Yeah.
So again, we'll be watching the game from home. We would be going to the game, but we're sending them to the game instead. So lots of beer, lots of wings. Lots of fun. So it's going to be a night game, too. That's the first night game we've had all season, and that'll be awesome.
Yes, it will.
So expect to be amazed, Cal, because I know that the offense is good here in Eugene, but it's going to be more than what you thought it was because it's probably going to be another one of those 650 yards of offense, maybe even 700. I don't know. The defense is way too porous, and so it's going to be fun to watch.
Yep.
So until then, this is UODuckBros saying thank you guys for watching. And as always,
go Ducks.
Go Ducks. See you later.